Thank you for being here. And first of all, I'd like to thank you, President Trump, for being so tenacious and not giving up when others would have. So because of the years I have working through the UAW and General Motors, I think that your record shows that because you have a background of being in business, I think that you see the changes and what we need, where we need to go in order to grow the business and grow the jobs. And I also see that your policies in the past and the policies you say you're going to enact with the border, with China, with our energy resources, the direction you wanted to take from a long time ago, back when you were president before. That's why I think you're best for this country, you're best for the UAW, and you're best for the workers. And also, I'd like to take this opportunity, and it's not my notes, but I just want to say that I've always thought you was the most genuine candidate, and as a regular Joe, as they introduced me as in the bio, I think that I appreciate that. I think you're for the people, and you're for America, and that's why I think you're the best.
Thank you, Tim. Well, I want to start by saying you look a lot younger than you must be, because if you've worked for the company 46 years, that's a long time. You look like you're 35 years old. I would say, what's that all about, right? What are you doing? What are you doing? Well, you believe in God, that I can see. And
I hear that once in a while.
But you're very lucky in that sense. Thank you very much. I want to, it sort of pertains to what you're saying. So I'll just make this statement. A big thing happened over the last couple of days for Michigan and for Detroit and for the country. Howard knows all about this, but some of the biggest auto plants in the world were planned for Mexico. And I've been talking about it for the last year. I've been talking about the whole concept for 10 years, 15 years. I mean, even as a private person, I couldn't believe how how companies were and countries were coming in and stealing our jobs, stealing our plants. Everyone's unemployed. Then they sell cars back in. All they do is you get fired, and then they make the car and they sell it into our country. They make a lot of money. We make nothing. We have unemployment. And I've watched this for 20 years. I've watched it for so long, and it's disgraceful. And so I have good news for you. I've been talking about, in particular, one giant plant, bigger than anything you've ever seen. And you know the story where a person I know he builds plants. That's what he does. And I said, I want to see a plant, a big one, about a year and a half ago. And he said, okay, when do you want to go to Mexico? I said, no, I want to see one here. He said, we don't build them here big. We build them, but they're little by comparison. China is building the biggest ones in Mexico. I said, that's not good. I don't like that. No. And he said, well, that's the way it is. I said, I'm not going to Mexico. I'm not going to look at them in Mexico. I want to see them here. Just an automatic instinct to me. I started saying, well, if they're building a plant, they're going to wipe out, here. That means they're building a plant. They're going to send the cars into our country one way or the other by the millions. And Detroit and Michigan, you're probably 60% wiped out from what it was in its heyday, maybe more than that. I said, you're going to get wiped out. The rest of it's going to be. And then you have a union head who wants to build electric cars, and they're going to all be made in China. You know that. And we have a thing called liquid gold. They have, which is oil and gas. We have a lot of it. And by the way, Brian, stand up for a second, if you would, please. This guy is he's like you. He gets it so much. You know each other, maybe. He gets it so much. He gets it like nobody. And he's been fighting against all of this nonsense for so long, and so the electric cars are going to. And by the way, Elon Musk is a great friend of mine. He gave me a tremendous endorsement. He's right now campaigning in Pennsylvania because he thinks we have to win. If we don't win this election, because she's a Marxist. This woman has no idea what she's doing. We can't let her be president. I don't want to be rude about it, we can't let her be president. This country is finished if that happens. I mean, beyond a normal candidate, this country would be absolutely finished if she got it. So we have to stop her. And these are plants that are bigger than anything you've seen. They will knock out the cars. You press a button and the whole thing starts operating. And so I started talking about this, what do you think, Brian, a year ago, less than a year ago, that I won't let it happen, a year ago, yeah? And I said, I'm not going to let it happen if they do this plant in Mexico, right near the border, and a couple of others. I'm going to put giant tariffs on it for 100%, and if that doesn't work, I'll go to 200%. I don't care. They're not going to be selling cars here. Now, if they want to build their plant here, I hope here, but at least in the United States, someplace in the United States, it's a whole different ballgame. But we're not going to have them building them in other countries, sending them into the United States, taking all those jobs. So I've been announcing it, and I've been talking about it. And I saw the gentleman that builds the plants, because I was here a couple of weeks ago at the Detroit conference, as you know, and it was really the auto conference. And so I look in the audience, and there he is, the man that builds the plants. And I said, could I see you a minute before the speech? And after the speech, I saw him, and I said, so how is that plant doing? He said, sir, they've decided not to build. I said, why? He said, because I think you're going to be elected, and if you put tariffs, on, so thank you. And that was easy. I didn't even do anything other than say, I'm telling you, the man said it right over here. It's the most beautiful word in the dictionary. You have other words that are damn nice, like love, but I tell you, I think it's more beautiful than love, the word tariff. And so here it works, hey, Brian, here it works without even doing anything. They thought there was a chance, and they're not going to spend $2 billion on building a plant and then have, Trump get elected and put 200%. And if that wasn't enough, I'd raise it. And again, the higher it goes, the more likely it is that they build in this country. But think of it. So they stopped this giant plant just on the basis. Now, if I don't get elected, they will start it up as sure as you're sitting there. Mm-hmm. These people have no clue. She has no clue what she's doing. She wants to raise everybody's taxes. She's a disaster. And other than that, I like her quite a bit, right? But no.